Pleasure to welcome to the podcast. We got a youth goalie, Kyrie Maradiaga. Ky, how we doing?
Hey, Coach Damon, I'm doing good.
All right, good to see you. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on the podcast. I'd love to hear the story of the very first time you jumped into goal. Do you remember that? It's not too long
Yeah.
ago.
Mm, yeah. So the first time I jumped in net was my school resource officer actually, Officer Cheek. He helped me, encouraged me to go play for the local rec team. And the first time I went in net, I saved my first shot in game, and I never looked back from there. I love the sport now.
Me too. It sounds like we got similar stories because the first time I got into a game, it was like on a man down, right? Our goalie got a penalty, and I go into the game and I'm like super nervous and man down, and they shoot a shot from like, I don't know, 10, 11 yards away, and I didn't even move, and it just hit me square in the face mask. It helps getting a save of that very first opportunity, right?
hmm
Yeah,
It definitely like encourages you. You think, well, I can stand up here. It's my first shot. Like I saved that. It's good. I'm got it.
right, right. So did you like it right away, or was it kind of like, whoa, what did I get myself into?
Well, it was I love like the sport of lacrosse. I've that actually before I even knew what lacrosse was, when I was really little, we had season tickets to the Swarm, and like I just love watching lacrosse. I didn't even know what I was watching. I just like them getting to fights and stuff. So, when that happened, I really enjoyed it. And when I played lacrosse, I really started to understand like the rules and stuff like that. And I never looked back. I just love the sport.
Yeah, what would you say you love about it the most?
Probably just the thrill of getting in the cage and just playing that game that like with your team, everybody celebrating and getting hype.
Yeah, it's a good feeling, right? Really good feeling. And then so, once you kind of, I don't know, stuck with goalie or decided like, hey, I'm going to be the goalie. I mean, how did you go about then learning how to make saves? Did you do some camps? Did you work with some coaches? How did you do that?
Yeah, I've gotten the privilege to work with really many great coaches, such as my first goalie coach was Ethan Barlag. He plays at Manhattan College.
Nice.
He really taught me how to have fun playing lacrosse and just the basics of being a goalie.
That's great. How do you teach someone how to have fun playing lacrosse?
Well, it's just like you just teach them how to play lacrosse because lacrosse is a fun sport.
There you go. Yeah. And a reminder, right? A reminder when you see for some reason they're not having fun, because that happens sometimes when, especially as a goalie, maybe just you show up one day and you take two off the thigh and you're like, man, I don't really feel like being here today. And that simple reminder of like, hey, this is a beautiful game. You have this amazing opportunity. It can really help us kind of get back in that right headspace, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. My coach, Coach Dom from the Deep South Thrashers, he really helps me do that. When I'm down on myself or I don't have that much of a day, he kind of comes in and helps me get back in the right headspace so I can come out there and focus for the next shot.
That's great. That's great. And then he taught you sort of the fundamentals. Do you remember what some of those early lessons were?
Yeah, it was basically like how to hold your stick. It was literally just the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Back then, fourth grade, like it wasn't really like footwork, all this. It was just how to hold the stick, how to stand in the net, and how to not dodge away from shots.
Yeah. It's true. I mean, we chuckle, but I mean, when you're in fourth grade and you've
Mm,
never stood in goal, like a lot of times I watch these videos of kids that, are that age and they're just starting and they've got the stick like, they're holding it like, or their top hand like in the middle of the shaft
mhm,
and the shot comes and they're kind of like trying to like swat at it like a fly
mhm,
swatter as opposed to like just moving and catching it. So yeah, I mean, those are kind of the basics that you need to know, right?
yeah.
Yeah. What else? Anything else come to mind?
Well, I've also been coached by a lot of other great coaches, such as like Brett Dobson. He's really helped me get prepared for the next levels, which that might be like the next age group in lacrosse or the next tournament. He just helps me prepare for those games and tweak out whatever I need to tweak out and help me prepare for all those good like tournaments and the next level.
Yeah. Yeah, every time I go into my Instagram, I see Ky next to like another famous goalie. It's like Ky and Brett Dobson or like Ky and Mitch Pelkey, or it's like Ky and and Matt Note. Just everywhere I go. So that's awesome that you have the opportunity to work. I think Dobson is like the best in the game right now as a
Mhm.
goalie. Like number one. If I had to pick, if we're doing fantasy drafts for, picking a team from scratch, I would say Dobson goes number one for goalies. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
very blessed to be around all these great lacrosse minds and like get to
yeah.
learn from them. And I'm just really blessed to be around all these people.
Now, how did you get connected with Dobson? Because I know he plays for the Georgia Swarm, right? You're in the area, so he's local. But did you just like DM him, or do you have another connection?
Well, I went to a Swarm game, and the first time I met him, I got a picture, and I was like really excited to meet him. And then the second time I met him at a like at after the game, an on-field signing,
Yeah.
and he wrote his phone number on the back of a poster, and he said, "Call me, and we can meet up sometime, and we'll do a lesson or something."
Oh, nice. Awesome. Yeah.
So now when he plays with the Georgia Swarm and he's in Georgia, um, almost every week we come out in the backyard and pass around, and he teaches me a lot and gets me ready for the next level.
That's awesome. Now, do you play box too, or just field
I do play box too. I
as a
play
goalie?
box for the yeah. hmm
Nice. Nice.
that's one of my favorite ways to play of lacrosse. I love playing box because it's more like fast pace. You get a lot of shots, you get a lot of action.
Yeah. Do you think being a box goalie has helped you in your field lacrosse game?
Oh yes, definitely. Because box, it helps you a lot with footwork. You definitely know when you switch over back to field, you definitely get that step to the shot, and you're not afraid to get hit with the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, because in box you got all those pads on, right?
Mm,
And just I think the sheer reps, because in box you just see so many more shots and just that, getting all those reps like allows you to know what shooters are trying to do and kind of read their body language and get a sense of like where the shot's going before they even release it. And so you're
mm,
already one step ahead of those shooters. So yeah, I recommend, if you got the resources at every field goal, you throw on the box pads and see some shots.
yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Yeah. Cool. What else did Dobson teach you? I think you mentioned, he gets me ready for the next level. What does that mean specifically?
I mean, he definitely helps me a lot with footwork. His part of the game, like he is like a mastermind at footwork. He knows all the little tips and tricks how to get to the ball faster,
Hmm.
down on the ground and those low shots, and like just stepping to the ball, how to like aim your feet in a certain way to get more coverage on that ball. Make sure
Yeah.
you're getting a second like rebound if you miss the ball with your stick.
Yeah. Hey, a lot of goalies email me and they say I'm struggling with low shots. Like low
Mm.
shots are my kryptonite, if you will. What would you say, Ky, if someone DM'd you and said, "Hey, Ky, help me with my low shots"?
Really, what helped me is I take a deep breath and then blow out as soon as I stab my stick at the ground as hard as I can. So I'm basically like bending my stick down, and then I get that low save, and then I just get the GB and I try to find a quick outlet on the clear.
Interesting. So you got a little breathing technique. So shot comes and then you go in, then out on the save.
Yeah.
I like it. Interesting. I've never heard that before. Um, and I think a lot of goalies, especially when they're young, they try and like bend down at the waist, as opposed to like, getting the hips down.
Mm.
I don't know if you've ever had a problem with that.
Yeah, sometimes I do catch myself doing that, but really it's a lot better if you just like take a knee almost and just jab that stick down
Yeah.
straight onto the ground.
Yeah, yeah. That's interesting. Yeah, you got to try and get that body behind it too, right?
hmm
Yeah. All right, cool. So you worked with Dobson, and you worked with the Manhattan goalie. Any other coaches you worked with?
Yeah, I've worked with Coach Dom, the coach for the Deep South Thrashers, and Sean Byrne from my most recent camp I went to. He's the Army goalie.
Right.
He really helps me. Like I like like taking like a half step out of the net just so I can cut down that angle. And he's taught me to stay like almost on like the GLE, like in the net almost, so I
Uh-huh.
can have that extra bit of time to like make that save.
That's interesting. Has that helped you?
Yeah, it has because any like split second that you can get to that ball, it helps as a goalie because
Yeah.
um lacrosse is the second sport of inches,
What's the
any
first?
any football.
Football? Okay. There you go. I guess there's a lot of sports with that are games of inches, huh?
Mhm,
I've heard that said about baseball too.
mhm.
Um, all right. So, but how tall are you?
I'm 5'2".
5'2". Yeah. I mean, you're still growing, so that makes kind of sense. Um, I do think there's a time and place to like come out and challenge the shooter. And if you watch Dobson play, he does it. He does it quite a bit.
Mhm,
But to your point, or I guess to Sean's point, there certainly is a benefit too of being back, especially when the shooter has like their top center, right? And they see the whole goal. And if I come out just a little bit, it doesn't really matter. So give myself a little bit more, I don't know, opportunity. So yeah, I mean, there's different ways to play this goalie position and have success, which is kind of a great thing.
mhm.
Sean Byrne, yeah, I forgot. He's from the Georgia area as well. Georgia's like this upcoming hotbed of goalies, huh?
Yeah.
Right.
You can definitely see it at when you go to camps and the goalies, like they're just lined up for warm-ups. And it's really amazing to see that the game is growing in different spots, like other than like Maryland, Virginia, and places that
Right.
are like the normal factories for like lacrosse players.
Yeah. Have you worked with Anderson Moore?
Mm-mm, no.
Okay. Well, I know he's from Georgia as well. What about
Mm.
Parker Ferry?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I've never worked.
Yeah, he's from Georgia as well. And I had him on the last podcast on last goalie summit.
Mm,
Parker's awesome. So if you get the chance to work with him, definitely put that one on your list.
mm.
All right. Um, cool. What's your favorite thing about being the goalie?
Well, my favorite part about being the goalie is just kind of like being the quarterback of the defense, where
Yeah.
you're just like you're kind of in control a little bit. You can call out, you can control the game, and you see everything. You can call out the ball and everything. So I really like just being in control of the defense and like seeing everything else. Like if there's a cutter, I can call out the cutter, and then I just like benefiting my team
Yeah.
in any way I can.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about goalie, right? We got that unique vantage point on the field where we see everything, and as a result, most of the times goalies are the leaders of the defense. Or if you're not a leader, playing goalie is a really quick way to learn those leadership skills required.
Mm.
Would you call yourself a leader? I know you play, on some club teams. Would you call yourself a leader of the team?
I'm not a leader of the team, but I'm definitely trying to be a leader out on the field. I try to be a leader, leading people in the right direction and
Hmm.
um like just quick reminders of people that like just to jab the stick out a little bit more, take one extra step on that VB or something like that.
Yeah.
I like benefiting my team in any way I can.
Yeah, that's a great point. A lot of times goalies ask me about communication and like, well, and being a leader and how do I do that? And one of the ways is just what you said, which is to be a second coach out there, right? And you got to pay attention to what your defensive coach is teaching the team. That was something that I did, and then you just echo that back, right? Sticks up in the lane, like you said, like, hey, don't let them take that extra step or whatever. Stay low on defense. Get a poke. Get on the hands. I mean, those are just things that your coach would say. And so you can echo them as a goalie and be a leader, right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I like it. All right. Least favorite thing about being the goalie.
Probably getting hit like on the kneecap when you're
Mm.
not in like an athletic stance and then like your like knee like pops.
Yeah.
That like getting like hit in like the worst areas to get hit is really like the least favorite part of being a
Yeah.
goalie.
Yeah.
And I think that goes for like any goalie.
I know. That's tough. That's tough. I mean, taking the lumps and the bruises is tough. But I think I saw a video of you with the pro slides, those pads.
Hmm.
Have you been using those?
Yeah, I definitely have been using ProSlide. They help me during practices and games. So you might as well, if you're gonna take the shot, you might as well take it and be protected and not take those bruises.
Yeah.
Mm,
What I like about them too is like one, I think they look cool, right? I mean, a lot of
mm,
times like the pads, they just look goofy on goalies, but like these ones are the compression
mm,
leg sleeves, right? And if well, you can just put sweats over them and no one will see them. But even with shorts and socks, like I think they look really cool. Um, so that's one. And then the two, like they still give you the mobility, right? I mean, they're not
mm,
like super max protect where like, a catcher shin guard where it's like going to be very hard to run or move.
mm.
So I recommend them a lot. And I saw a video of you with them and I was like, way to go, Ky, let's go. Awesome. What kind of goals do you have with the sport of lacrosse?
Well, my goals of the sport of lacrosse is probably going to be in college. I want to go All-American, and I also want to win the NCAA championship.
All right, you heard it here first. Actually, I don't know
And
if you
in
heard it here first. You've been on some other podcasts.
And in the professional level, I want to play in the NLL and the PLL because I love playing field and box. And after my lacrosse career is done, I want to be a broadcaster and a podcaster where I can interview people and be around like great minds of lacrosse. And I wish that I can like help out other people in their lacrosse journey, like other people have helped me.
Beautiful. Those are awesome goals. Those are awesome goals. I love it. Um, what was I going to say? Yeah. So, what do you think? With those goals in mind, and how old are you? You're not that old.
I'm 12 years old.
12 years old. Yeah. So how do you think you get there? How do you think you reach those goals? Have you given that any thought?
Yeah, I think it's just hard work, dedication, and practicing day in and day out. Just to try to be the best on the field that you can be the best version of yourself, and
Hmm.
be a good teammate and make connections with people that can help you get there.
Yeah. Yeah, and never lose sight of those goals as well, right?
Mhm.
Because sometimes they're way off, 4, 5, 6, 7 years away. We're talking, right? Would be, you winning that national championship. Um, sometimes you can lose sight of them when right now, and so writing that on a post-it and always keeping that somewhere visible to me is very motivating. I see that, and now it's like, all right, I got a decision. Should I eat Doritos and play video games or should I go out and play like an hour of wall ball? And it's like, well, if I got that goal staring in front of me, which action helps me reach that goal, right? And it comes pretty
Mhm.
clear.
That's why I encourage everybody to go out and set goals for yourself. It's just an encouragement, like for you to not sit on your couch, yeah, and like eat
Yeah.
Doritos and play video games, and to go outside, be social, and like play with your friends, go outside, play wall ball, and go shoot, like whatever.
Yeah, that's
Just be
smart.
active.
That's smart. All right, love it. What would you say within your goalie game right now? Like what's the area that you're actively trying to get better?
Probably on those low shots, like you said,
Mm,
I just really I need to get down on those low shots, drive my stick down like I'm trying to make a crater in the turf.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. I had one coach tell me too to smother that thing like a grenade.
Mhm,
As kind of like the visual reference, like, not only does your stick get down, but like, everything gets down.
mhm.
My nose gets over the ball. Smother that whole thing like a grenade. Um, so yeah, low shots. All right. So if someone asks you about low shots, you're gonna be like, "Ah, I'm working on them as well."
Mhm.
Awesome. All right. I was gonna ask you about some of your favorite goalies to watch these days, but it's gotta be Dobson number one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Dobson has helped me a lot, so I like watching him and celebrating his goals too. But
Yeah.
I also like watching Liam Inseman and
Oh
Blaze
yeah.
Bearden.
Yeah.
I went to the game in Charlotte when Blaze broke his own record, his own save record.
Oh, you were at that game?
Mhm.
25 saves, huh?
Yeah, that
All
was
right.
amazing.
Yeah, I bet. Was the crowd just going wild for those saves?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after I got a hat signed, and he was really, really kind. Um he was in a rush, he had to get on his plane, but he was really, really kind, and took pictures with everybody, and yeah.
Yeah. I've never been to a PLL game yet. I'm gonna go one day. So do they all like how does it work? Do they all hang out afterwards and is there a big long line to get a picture with Blaze or Not so much.
Usually they just line up on like the barriers between the field and the seats, and they just run along and take pictures with all the kids.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. Um, that's cool. Yeah, you got the archer's hat on.
Hmm.
Which, if you're just listening to the audio, let people know about that. And then talk to me about meeting Matt Note because I remember I think that's one of the first times I kind of came across you was I was watching that UMass game and that they brought you up on the broadcast.
Hmm. Yeah, that was actually a really nice weekend. It was my birthday weekend. Got to meet Matt Note, which was he's really really good. I got to see him play. He did really really good in that game. They came short though. I also liked watching the Army goalie there. He was really really good. And having ESPN shout me out on the program was pretty cool too.
Yeah. That was cool. What's the Ray Carcinelli or Cans
Mm,
something like that. He's a goalie as well. I don't know if you know
mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He I did this one I didn't realize he was a goalie and I was doing this one save edit and he goes, "Now, let's get to like the most handsome, smartest and one other awesome adjective that I forget. People out there, the goalies." And I was like, "Oh, this guy's got to be a goalie." And I looked it up
Mm.
and he's a goalie. And you want to be a broadcaster too, yeah? So I think goalies make good broadcasters is basically what I'm saying.
Yeah, like I said, on the field you're the captain of the defense. You got to
Yeah.
call out everything that's on there, and
Yeah.
that ties into broadcasting, where you got to call out everything that's going on the field, and you get to talk all these influential people, and that's why that's one of my dreams.
That's awesome. So now are you going to be the play-by-play guy or are you going to be like the color guy?
I think I want to be like the play-by-play guy that gets to like take close attention to the games and call out
Yeah.
what's going on.
I like it. I like have you ever done that or no, not yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah. I've done it in my office here by myself because when one of the save edit because I'm also interested in that and one of the save edits like for some reason
Mm,
the audio when we downloaded the game didn't have any like the announcers weren't there and so
mm,
like well I got to add something so I did it and it takes some practice I'll tell you that much but it's fun
mm.
it's really fun.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. And then I listen to a lot of lacrosse too. And so there's just some great, really Joe B and Anish and some of these play-by-play guys are just really crafted and talented at what they do, huh?
Hmm.
Yeah. All right. Awesome. Do you one of the things that lacrosse goalies need to be successful, I think, is that mental game, that mental toughness, right? Is that something you study yet?
Yeah. I love like the mental aspect of being a goalie. Like once you get past the mental barrier, it's really a fun game. Like when you make a good save, you gotta make sure you're not getting cocky, and you gotta make sure you're getting back to the next save, and it's the game's not over until the whistle blows. And even when you get scored on, you gotta make sure that score doesn't get into your head. You gotta make sure you learn from what you did wrong, and then forget about it and wait till the next shot.
Yeah. I think that second thing you mentioned both of them are important. But I think that second thing is like the number one most important thing for goalies because you
Mm,
give up a goal and it's very easy to get very down on yourself, right?
mm,
Mentally and
mm,
kind of get into your own head and then all of a sudden you start doubting your abilities and when that doubt enters your mind, like you don't play as well.
mm.
So how do you I mean, I'm sure you've dealt with that before where you give up a goal and you're just like, in your own head. I mean, how do you personally try and overcome that?
After I get scored on, I just breathe, and then I close my eyes and I wait until the face-off whistle blows, and then I open my eyes and it's game time. I just play free and play like I want to be out there, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's the way to do it, right?
Mm,
Um, yeah, I mean, having fun is like one of the main lessons that every goalie I've interviewed says. Not everyone, but the majority, right? In terms of the
mm,
mental piece, like as soon as you stop having fun and you start worrying about whatever, coaches on the
mm,
sideline or my save percentage or this and that,
yeah.
like you're not having fun, and it shows. So,
Mm.
So there you go. All right. And you're right in the middle of tournament season. Yeah. Like give us a recap of how your tournaments have been going so far and what tournaments do we have on the horizon?
Well, we have had 3 tournaments so far. We have we haven't gotten to the championship yet in any of them, but we
Uh,
have a tournament this weekend and we're really excited about. We got some good chances in this one.
okay. Where's it at? Or what's it called?
I don't know what it's called.
All right. You just show up and make the saves.
Yeah, that's it.
Love it. Awesome. Are you coming to the goalie summit next week?
Yes, absolutely. I love going. I love watching the goalie summits and just like soaking in all the knowledge that these goalies are saying and
Yeah.
adding it to my like weaponry for games
Right.
and learning from these goalies mistakes and stuff and trying to put it in my game and their tips and tricks and try to put it into my game so I can get better as a goalie.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've seen you there. Well, not personally, but in the chat.
Mm,
I've seen you at some previous ones, so I know you attend, and that's awesome. I'm excited too, and it's crazy. Like you said, you're going to learn a ton, but I also learn a ton, and I've done this will be Goalie Summit 16, and I've been coaching for 20 years, and it's just crazy how how much you learn. And even if someone's teaching a topic that I feel like I know inside and out, they just might say something or have like a different way of explaining it where I'm
mm,
like, oh yeah, like that. That was a really cool way of
yeah.
explaining that. So
Mm,
awesome. Well, I'll see you there. We get started on Monday.
mm. You'll
Um,
definitely see me there.
yeah, all right. That's what I like to hear. Maybe we'll have you on the next one, Goalie Summit 17. We could talk about I don't know, we'll talk about learning. We'll figure it out. I'll invite you to the
Mhm.
next one. All right. Awesome, Ky. Well, thank you so much for coming on the podcast and kind of sharing your story. What advice would you give to other goalies that are trying to, achieve the goals that you have, or that are your age and are just trying to get better in this position?
Just play free. Play like you want to be out there. Don't play for your coaches or anything like that. Play for you, and you want to be out there and playing like free. You don't want to be out there playing reserved. Like don't be a robot. Just play free, stand tall, and try to get in front of that ball.
Playing free, yeah. What if someone doesn't understand what it means to play free? How would you help them? How would you describe that?
Just don't care what the other team says. If some guy's chirping on attack, just um, just take a breath and you'll get next to the next shot and just
Hmm.
don't worry about what's going on to the game. Just try to be yourself out there and make the next save.
Yeah. Now, at your age level, do you hear some chirping? Not yet.
Yeah, definitely.
You do?
My age group, I think it's like a little bit more chirping because like kids they don't have like suspensions or anything like that. Like you don't get like suspended and like get fined. So they can just like say whatever they want.
So you're telling me at the 12-year-old level, we got more chirping that's going on than the pros, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, what have you
Except for
heard?
Ryder Garnsey. Ryder Garnsey might have a little bit more.
Yeah, well, he's a world-class chirper, right?
Yeah.
What have you heard any exceptionally good ones?
One guy said I don't even have a sister, by the way. One guy said, "Is that your sister on the sideline? She looks mad hot." And then I don't even have a sister, so that was kind of out of pocket.
Yeah, yeah. Well, he hasn't done his research.
Yeah.
I'll tell you when I played in college, you could tell these guys had done their research. Like they knew like my hometown, they knew like where I went to high school, and like they studied up. They would know like if I have sisters or if I have brothers. Uh,
Mm,
and yeah, you would hear them, and that's the interesting. So I played club, right? That was the interesting thing, and it's kind of like that U12 where like when you're in like in a big college D1 game and there's like
mm,
5,000 people there, like you don't hear the chirps because it's so
mm.
like there's so much noise. Whereas
There's so
like
much.
if there's like 10 people on the sideline, you hear
Mm,
them.
yeah.
But to your point, I mean, you just, let them talk, give it a smile and brush it off, right? And don't let any of
Mm,
that. I mean, they're just words. And if you're letting words get to you, then you got to build up a little bit more of a thicker skin, I say, because they're just words, right? And they can only hurt you if you let them.
mm.
And
Yeah.
it's kind of like you're the chirp with your sister, right? Where it's like, well, I don't even have a sister. That's the stupidest thing in the world. And if someone says, hey Damon, you're a horrible goalie, and you're like, that is the dumbest thing in the world. I'm not, right? It's just like I don't
Mm.
have a sister. That's the attitude I bring to it. So, awesome. Well, we went down the chirping rabbit hole, but we're back.
Yeah.
Ky, thank you so much, my man. Did we hit everything? You got some good stories you're holding out, or we get everything?
I think we got everything.
All right, my man. If people want to know a little bit more about you, where can they follow you?
You can follow me on at Ky the Goalie on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
At Ky the goalie, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Wait, we didn't talk about you meeting Mitch Felke. Tell me about that.
Oh yeah, I did meet Mitchell Pelkey at the Mitchell Pelkey Lacrosse Experience. That was a fun time. He was really, really kind to everybody there, and I just had a fun time, like talking, and just being there at the experience. It was really fun.
Yeah. I saw you just did a video of like let AI complete the image. Did you do
Yeah,
that or do your parents help you out with that?
I think ChatGPT helped us out with that.
I mean, of course, but I mean, did like who's running the show? Your parents or you did all that?
My dad helps me with my editing and stuff like that, so
Yeah,
he put that in ChatGPT.
that's cool. Yeah, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's like I guess you upload a picture and then you
Mm.
ask ChatGPT to like create the video of what happens next. And it's like Mitch is about ready to shoot on you, and what happens next is he like gets into a handstand. Of course, everyone could have seen that one coming, right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Ky, thank you so much, my man. If you had to leave the goalies out there, give me one final piece of advice for those goalies.
Just play free and be yourself.
I love it. All right, Ky, we'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye. Thank
Take care,
you.
bud. Thank you so much.